Hey everyone, how we doing out there? Let me just turn this down. Why is that on? Now we're good. Just wanted to stop in today, Wednesday. I mean, how often do you see me on a Wednesday? Not very often, but I've got news about the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit that I'm allowed to share. I'm going to share what like I said, what I'm allowed to share, because there's some things that I can't share yet, but they will be announced very, very soon. So there have been absolutely the dates for the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit in person, and, well, we'll talk about the location here in a minute. But the dates are Monday, November the 6th, Tuesday, November the 7th, Wednesday, November the 8th, in person in California. Now, Monday, here's the thing. I had a film that I was supposed to be showing locally on November the 5th, of course, on the 5th, Sunday. Well, I have to get a flight into California in order to get there, to make sure I'm there on time for Monday morning, Monday the 6th, because Monday is Apple Day. Monday, to kick off the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit, is Apple Day. So I can't risk, well, the only flights that were coming in for me from the East Coast to the USA were coming in around 9:30 in the morning, and Apple Day starts at 10 o'clock. Okay, well, I can't do that. If it was a normal day of just sessions and all, I could have, said, I can get there a little bit later. But since it's Apple Day is Monday, I have to get there Sunday. So I'll be getting there Sunday afternoon. And then I'll just spend the night in the hotel and be ready to go Monday morning. So this is an exclusive, right? This is an exclusive. Once again, the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit is November the 6th through November the 8th. Let me just pull this down here a second. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So the FCP Creative Summit, it's Cupertino, kinda. It's November the 6th through November the 8th. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of November. In person, and it's only $299 for the actual 3 days. So it's $100 a day. The main thing is Monday is going to be Apple Day. I don't know the exact agenda for Apple Day, but here's what I'm going to presume. We're going to see a presentation from the Final Cut Pro team. And based on the logo, let's look at the logo one more time. Based on that logo, let me see here a second. There we go. Based on that logo, based on the logo right here, this logo that they've incorporated, doesn't that look like the spaceship campus to you? Apple Park, I think they call it. But look at the logo, the circles. This is the logo. This is the actual FMC logo. Looks like Apple Park to me. Looks like Apple Park. Not the visitor center, not the gift shop. This looks like Apple Park. So, hasn't been announced yet what Apple Day exactly means, but in the past, we've never gotten a full day at Apple. We have typically 2 buses that go there, 50, 60 people on each bus. And we get to Apple Park, and in the past, we've gone to One Infinite Loop, which is not that far away. It's in Cupertino, because that's where the Final Cut Pro team was. That was 4 years ago. That was 2019, 4 years ago. A lot has changed then. I presume that the Final Cut Pro team is now in Apple Park, not One Infinite Loop. So I presume, not been announced yet, not officially, that we're going to have Monday is going to be at Apple Park. It's going to be a combination of presentation from the Final Cut Pro team, which is usual. That's usually exactly what we get, a presentation from the Final Cut Pro team. Hopefully, there's something new to show us. Hopefully, they have a brand new version of Final Cut. I mean, that's just me wishful thinking, of course. But I'm hoping, here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping to have 10.7 right around the Creative Summit, right before the Creative Summit, right after the Creative Summit, but we're allowed to see the newest version of Final Cut, perhaps 10.7. That's strictly me. That's nothing official. So we'll go to Apple Park, get a presentation from the Final Cut Pro team. That will kick off the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. This is what I'm figuring. Only some of the information I'm telling you has been made public yet so far. And I have permission to talk about this. So we'll get to we know the dates: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, November 6th, 7th, and 8th. Those are the 3 dates. Now, different from, I was there in 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019. We got a comment here from Matthew. What's up, Richard? This is what's up. The Final Cut Pro Creative Summit is what's up. That's what we're talking about today. That's why I'm here on a Wednesday afternoon rather than Saturday morning. Of course, we'll talk about this Saturday morning as well, but I wanted to get breaking news out there. November 6th, 7th, and 8th. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days. Monday, November 6th, is Apple Day. It looks like we're going to spend an entire day on Apple Day at Apple. An entire day. Now, obviously, interaction with the Final Cut Pro team, which is what I'm most excited about. Some people are out there singing happy birthday to a friend of mine. So anyway, Monday's Apple Day, all day Apple Day. That's the biggest deal. Tuesday is sessions, training. We're going to talk about where in a minute. So Tuesday is all day. You have sessions, and it includes Final Cut Pro, Motion, and Final Cut for iPad. This will be the first time, obviously, Final Cut for iPad because it's May. I mean, it came out in May, so Final Cut for iPad just came out in May, so obviously they didn't have it in 2019. So Final Cut Pro mainly, Motion probably secondarily, and then Final Cut for iPad. They'll have a few sessions on Final Cut for iPad as well. Now, that's during the day, morning to night. We have a comment here, says, I hope they score some new AI. Apple has already publicly come out and said that they've been working on AI for years. Tim Cook has said that recently. I hope Apple is working behind the scenes and introduces the big Final Cut Pro update. Likewise, perhaps 10.7. Perhaps 10.7. And it's a big update. And even if it's not 100% ready, we'll be able to see it, preview it, perhaps post some pictures on social media, et cetera, et cetera. So they're expecting a lot of people for this one. Number one, in 2019, the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit was almost $1,000 just for the sessions. I can't remember if it was 3 days or 4 days. Just for the sessions, it was $1,000. It's expensive. They got to get a place to do the presentations in a hotel, fancy hotels. Sometimes they had food for us. They have Expo Night, which they had food for us. They had, sometimes you went out to a special lunch. We had an initial presentation sometimes, different places. They had to bus us places. They had to bus us to the Apple visits that we had. We've never got to the Spaceship Campus yet. We were supposed to, but something happened the last time we didn't get there. It looks to me, like this time we are getting there. Doesn't it look like it's Spaceship Campus to you? Those circles underneath? That's the Spaceship Campus. They call it Apple Park. So that has to mean that we're going to Apple Park. That's where Apple Day is. Hasn't been officially announced, but that's what I'm getting to. So we know it's November the 6th through the 8th. We know Monday is Apple Day, right? These are the things we know. Now let's go to the actual website that they have up. Now, you cannot book yet. The reservations are not available yet, but they do have a website up, and they said that I can post this. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. They said I can post this information, so that's why I'm here today. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Where's my desktop? Countdown desktop. Here is the actual website. As you can see, it says Fanica Pro Creative Summit, Cupertino, November the 6th through the 8th. But down here, thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Down here, it says November 6th to the 8th at Apple Park and the Hyatt Regency Santa Clara. Up there, it says Cupertino. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Down there, it says Santa Clara. Cupertino, Santa Clara. Cupertino, Santa Clara. Which one is it? I'll tell you. It's both. It's both. We're having Twin Cities this time for the Fanica Pro Creative Summit. We are having Twin Cities. Let me just see something if I can do this. Pan and zoom. Picture settings. Huh. It's off a little bit. So it's Twin Cities. Cupertino for some of it, and the Hyatt Regency in Santa Clara for some of it. Twin Cities this time. We're not just in Cupertino. We are not at the Juniper Hotel, but this other hotel looks fantastic. I have to get used to when I get there, I scout out a place to get water, bottled water. I scout out a place to get half and half for my morning coffee. When I get up in the morning, especially if I'm away from home, when I get up, I need coffee in my room, and it has to be good coffee. None of this packet stuff that you put in one of those coffee makers they have in the hotel room. I bring my own pour-over kettle, stainless steel pour-over kettle. I grind enough coffee to last me for the amount of days I'm going to be away. And I got to have half and half because I use half and half of my coffee. When I get up in the morning, brush my teeth, wake up a little bit, I've got to have that first cup of coffee in the hotel room. I don't want to have to get dressed and go somewhere to get coffee. And I don't want mediocre coffee. So I bring my kit with me, along with my camera, my monopod, some lenses, et cetera, et cetera. Hopefully they revealed to you all on Monday what is coming on Tuesday of that week. Tuesday and Wednesday will be the sessions. Those will be the training sessions that you get to go to. And we're going to go over some of the details of this $299 because it's really, really a good deal this year. Very, very good deal. So Tuesday and Wednesday will be sessions. You'll have sessions from the morning till noon, and then there'll be a break for lunch. Then there'll be more sessions from afternoon till evening. And then in the evenings, there's 3 evenings, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday evening. In the evenings, one of those nights is going to be Expo Night. Thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. One of those nights is going to be Expo Night. That's where vendors that help sponsor the Creative Summit or be there, future media conferences, has a great spread of food for everybody and drinks and everything, and everybody gets to mingle. It's usually a big room, and the outside is different vendors and sponsors that are set up, and we get to stop at each one and talk to people. Listen, the last time in 2019, Black Magic was there. Black Magic was one of the sponsors of the Fanica Pro Creative Summit. So the vendors don't just have to be Apple specific, because Black Magic is nothing to, Apple, they don't have to be Fanica Pro specific. Black Magic has nothing to do with, well, it's related because it's an NLE. And they also had Ceramonic was there with their microphones and different things. I stopped and talked to them. Now that's an interesting comment. I bet they let you try Vision Pro. You think so? Yari, I guess that's a month before. Is it supposed to be out in December? That would be very interesting, because I'm not going to go out of my way to try one, but if they had it right there, yeah, I'll put it on and see what the heck's going on here. Maybe Tim Cook will be there with us. Who the heck knows? Hi, Richard. Exciting stuff. Let's hope for the best. Fingers crossed. Yes, Roz, absolutely. Will the event be broadcast online? I don't think so, because that discourages people from going. If you can see it online for less money, they might. I'm not saying they won't. They might have a package you can buy after the event. But I understand if you can't make it. That's completely understandable, because it's going to be expensive. The $299 does not cover the hotel room. You still got to get a place to stay for those nights. You still got to pay for food. You still got to get transportation. You don't have to get transportation. They provide buses for everybody that's there to go from Apple campus and wherever the event's going to be. Looks like it's going to be in Santa Clara. I think they said it's about 20 minutes away. Santa Clara is about 20 minutes from Cupertino, so we'll get on a bus for 20 minutes, have a nice little ride, and ride to Cupertino. I'm going to say the Spaceship Campus. They haven't told me that specifically, but it looks like it is to me. I don't think it's going to be, it's not going to be broadcast live. This is an in-person event. They've done the broadcast version for the last couple of years. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm thinking it's not going to be broadcast live. I will be broadcasting live from any place that I can. I probably can't broadcast live from Apple campus, I'm going to presume. I don't know for a fact, but we'll see. I'm not worried about there. Hopefully we can videotape there and stuff. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Take pictures and videotape, because I've never been there before. So let me just turn this up a little bit. That's what I'm hoping for. Broadcasting live, I doubt it. I doubt we'll be able to. But Monday and Tuesday, I'm taking my brand new, one of the reasons I got this camera was for the Creative Summit, because in the presentation rooms, they're a little bit dark, and the iPhone needs light. The iPhone that I've taken in the past needs light. So I got the Lumix S5 Mark II X specifically for low light, and specifically to film a little bit in some of these presentations. So when you have presenters in there, if Sam Messman's there, if Phil Hodgetts is there, Serena Catania is there, I will be able to film a little bit of their presentation, number one for them, number one just to document it. I won't be streaming that live, I'll just be filming. And the good thing about the Lumix S5 Mark II X, I'll be filming in 6K. I'll be filming in 6K. It's a really good low light camera, and I have two fast primes, 24 millimeter f1.8 and a 50 millimeter f1.8. So it's built, that camera and lens combination is built for low light. Do you think Apple's ever going to get back to live announcements versus pre-recorded announcements and people in person? This is people in person. This is an event, people in person. Now, But this is the Final Cut Pro's portion. Do I ever think that Apple will do that? I think so. They were pretty, they could do a combination. They can have their pre-recorded presentations, but they can also have a live event. And I think they will. This is partly Apple. This is in cooperation with Apple. They couldn't do this without obviously Apple's cooperation. There's a lot of moving parts. You got a hotel, you got buses, you got food, you have Apple, you have Future Media Conferences people, you have all the attendees. There's a lot of moving parts. They have to, get together like this. So, but the Apple Day is most exciting. We've never had a full day at Apple before. Never had a full day. Now we'll probably start off at the Final Cut Pro team because that's what the event is about. This is the biggest Final Cut Pro event every year in the world. This is the biggest one. And the reason it's the biggest one is because it's 100% Final Cut Pro motion and Final Cut for iPad. Other people can be there. Vendors can be there. Plug-in manufacturers can be there. Last time LumaFusion was there. And other vendors are there. Like I said, Blackmagic was there in 2019. And Saramonic was there in 2019. So there's not just Final Cut Pro people. So keep that in mind. What software do you think Apple edits on for their pre-recorded stuff? It's not always Final Cut. It's Avid, I think. I think Avid. It's not Apple. Apple doesn't do the editing. Apple hires people to do the production and stuff. Some of it probably is in Final Cut, but if you hire somebody, if you hire a producer and you hire a crew, you don't want to insist to them on what software they use. That's none of your concern. I mean, you might encourage them to use Final Cut. Say, hey, if you use Final Cut, we'll give you some laptops or something. That would be fine. But I wouldn't want people dictating to me what software I use. I hope a new version of Final Cut Pro Studio will be released on Monday, Apple Day. Yeah, well, you and me both. You and me both. It would be nice if they can, if the team can coordinate that. That would be very nice. All right, let's go back to this website we have. This is Final Cut Pro Creative Summit, Cupertino, November the 6th through the 8th. Dates and locations confirmed, November 6th to the 8th, Apple Park and the Hyatt Regency, Santa Clara. Now, Apple Park is in Cupertino. This is Santa Clara, which is about 15, 20 minutes away. So I don't know this for a fact because there's no registration yet. I think that's the hotel. I know that's the hotel we're going to be doing the presentations in one of their rooms. Thanks for the thumbs up, by the way. I appreciate it. I know the Hyatt Regency in Santa Clara is where the sessions are on Tuesday and Wednesday. That's where the sessions are going to be. But I have not got confirmation this is the hotel everybody's going to stay at. I don't know that for a fact. So even though it says Cupertino up here and the Santa Clara down here, both of these are correct. It's in Twin Cities this year. It's in two cities, Cupertino and Santa Clara. Future Media Concepts will be busing us back and forth to the different events. I know that for a fact. It's $299. But look at something. I'm going to show you something. $299, and look what everything that you get. This is fantastic. Interactive sessions led by renowned video professionals and Apple Pro users. Additional tips, tricks, Q&A included. Absolutely. Complimentary access to certification prep courses. Okay. VIP guest presentations. Guest speakers, local editors, learn about their creative approach, blah, blah, blah. Look at this. Tickets are $299, and they include one complimentary certification exam voucher. That alone is normally $149 for the exam. The exam is $149, and the whole conference is only $299, plus your other expenses. complimentary certification prep course recording, 2 full days of cutting-edge training, that's Tuesday and Wednesday, 1 day at Apple. We've never had a full day at Apple before. Access to Networking Expo Night to interact with peers and local talent. That's a heck of a lot for $299. That's one heck of a lot for $299. Like I said, this website just got put up. You cannot book anything yet. This is for informational purposes only, and I got permission from Future Media Conferences to show you this. So as we know, as they put up the reservation system and where you can book the hotels, et cetera, I'll be presenting that to you as well. Now, I don't think I'm going to be coming back on this week. I'll be coming back on Saturday, Final Cut TV and Coffee, the way I always do. But I just wanted to come on and be first exclusive. This is exclusive, another exclusive from Final Cut TV. And my name is Richard Taylor, as you know. Don't forget to subscribe over there on YouTube and all that stuff. I have some more interesting things coming out between now and the Creative Summit. One of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be testing some of my equipment, and I'm going to be doing that live on YouTube and Facebook. I have a new studio that I'll be testing out, and I'll be testing some audio and asking the people live, which do you like better? This microphone, this setup, or this microphone, this setup? The camera, I know. I will be bringing my iPhone 15 Pro Max. I know that, because that should be out in October. So with the hands down, I'll be bringing that. But I'm also going to be bringing my Lumix, I don't have it here, my Lumix S5 Mark II X as well for filming in low-light situations and recording some crisp, high-quality 6K video. So, you know as much as I can talk about. You know as much as I can talk about. 2 cities, first time, a day at Apple, a full day at Apple. Thanks, Roz. Thank you. A full day at Apple, first time. They have to have something to talk about, don't you think? The in-person part is fantastic. I'm going to play a little bit of I did a documentary on the Creative Summit. Let me play just a little clip from that. So this is when I first did, this is in 2016, before I head to Cupertino, and I was just doing some live checking of the audio. Let me know how the audio is doing. That, of course, is the most important part. The audio is crucial. This is walking into the Juniper Hotel. We're not going to be at the Juniper this year, so we don't really have to see that, but let me see what else we have here. This is Juniper. This is the lobby. Typically what we do, the lobby. So all these people are hanging around. This is before sessions. There's Jeffrey Northwan and Ian Anderson. Brad Olson's there. Trevor Horton.
Beverage.
There's Chris Fenwick walking into my camera. He does that a lot. He always walks in front of the camera. Mike Matzdorf, Michael Yanovich. There's Sam Messman in the background. There's
so Lee,
Hodgetts.
We're bringing the pitchforks in case stoop detection's not added this time.
This is there's Philip Hodgetts and Mark Spencer. I talked to them a bit. This is the event with his food. There's Thomas Grove Carter, Mike Matzdorf.
Pro 10-4.
Jeffrey
and no
Greenberg,
NDA.
of course.
You're hearing about first here.
Stupid Raisins and Pierre.
Easy enough.
All kinds of people. There's a presentation there.
Without making our job too.
This is what the rooms look like. So this doesn't look too bad, but I improved the quality with Topaz Video Enhance AI because it was grainy. This is a little bit dark for an iPhone. for an iPhone. So that's why I'm bringing my Lumix S5 Mark II X, which is excellent and low light. And I got fast prime, so I'll even have a better presentation video. And I'm not going to broadcast that live, but I will get video to have it for another version of a documentary on a Creative Summit, and also to have clips for the presenters if they want them.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to get
the
there, and then we're going to be at the visitor center.
Hello.
This is Apple Park Visitor Center.
How you doing? We've had problems with Bill in the past, so check your pocketbook. No, I was just retake. I didn't mean for you to.
We had a great time there.
I just wanted you to hold it for me so I could use two.
It's really, really a good time. And yes, if they have an online version, you can get after the fact. That's fine. You can't understand meeting with these people, talking with them, having lunch with them, breakfast with them, dinner with them is really the tops. Talking to the Final Cut Pro team in person. Typically, we had a presentation from the Final Cut Pro team, and we had a meetup with them that was like a Q&A session. We can submit questions in advance. We can ask questions live. They may not answer them, but we can ask them just for the attendees of the summit and the Final Cut Pro team. You can't videotape it, you can't take pictures, and you can't audio record it because they're Apple employees and Apple respects their privacy. So, but typically that's what we've had. I presume since we're going to be at Apple campus all day, we're going to talk with Final Cut Pro team, but we're probably going to just tour the campus. We may go to the Steve Jobs Theater. Maybe that's where the presentation is. Thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Maybe that's where the presentation is going to be, but it's just to be in that place is going to be very, very cool. USB-C will be interesting on new iPhones, especially using LumaFusion and an SSD. Oh, I can't wait to get rid of this stupid Lightning port that's USB 2 speeds. You spend $1,500 on an iPhone and you get bogged down transferring your footage off of your phone to your hard drive. I can't wait for the USB-C. So I'll get the 15 Pro Max. I probably won't get the 2 terabyte because I have the 1 terabyte and I've never filled it up. And I film and film and film, then I take stuff off and film and film and film. So I'll probably stick with the 1 terabyte, but everything else I'll get the highest end that I can get. So it'll be the Pro Max version. So I'm looking forward to that, probably coming out in September. I most certainly will be using that. Oh, yeah, I can switch over my audio, my Pro Audio, which is the DJI system, because it comes with a USB-C connector to the iPhone. Right now, when I use that, I plug it into the iPhone with the Lightning connector, but it also comes with a USB-C connector. So you put the USB-C connector on, you can plug it directly into the iPhone. That's my way to get Pro Audio into the iPhone. So, are you excited? Now, here's the thing. As usual, I'll be reporting live from the Creative Summit. Now, I'm not going to be doing the sessions live. No. I'm going to be in the lobby when people are out there having coffee and donuts. When we're having dinner, perhaps I'll do a little live segment. I'm going to be reporting from my hotel room in the evenings. In the mornings, probably more. I will stream live from the expo night because that's a big event. Lots of people, lots of vendors, food and everything else. We'll be streaming for a while there. If we have any other nighttime events, I'm going to presume there's going to be nighttime events Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So the expo is one. Before they had another event where we all got together in a bar and we had trivia contests and things. And we'll see if that happens again, but I'm going to presume there's going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night events of some sort. And FMC is really, really good at this. This is what they do. They do this year round. They do it for Premiere. They do it for, I don't know if they do it for Avid that much, maybe. And Resolve, of course. Oh, by the way, once again, Steve Martin from Ripple Training, I got an email from him today. So if you have Resolve training from Ripple, I had originally got Resolve 17 training. They gave you a free update, Ripple did, to Resolve 18. Vendors that charge you over and over again for updates, take a lesson from this. Ripple Training, thank you very much for the thumbs up and for the heart. I appreciate it. Ripple Training gave you a free update from Resolve 17 to Resolve 18. I just got an email from Steve Martin today. He just updated all the training to 18.5. It's a free update. It's a free update. That's a lot of work in those tutorials. That's a lot of work. I'm sure Steve will be there at the Creative Summit doing sessions. And, I'll be talking to him, interviewing him. He's in the documentary. So if you want to go to the documentary, here it is here. It's on my YouTube channel. It's called Final Cut Pro Creative Summit, the documentary. It's 42 minutes long. It's, it's pretty cool. There's Denver Riddle. There's Ian Anderson doing Inception with me. There's Noah Cadner, Jeff Greenberg in the background. There's Ian taking a picture of me when I'm taking a picture of him. So this is Jasper Seegers is his name. Here's some of the food that we have, of course. Lots of good stuff. There's our friend Brad Olson. There's some friends of mine that I've met multiple times over there. And this is back to, there's Jeff Green. This is an event we had, just like trivia and stuff in a bar at night. This is not the big expo night. There's Jeff Greenberg there doing stuff. This is when I was leaving Cupertino, to be continued. So this is One Infinite Loop 2016 demo room when they just came out with the 2016 MacBook Pro and Final Cut Pro 10.3. I can't recommend the Summit enough if you're a Final Cut Pro enthusiast like I am. I'm the eternal Final Cut Pro optimist. I'm always waiting for the next thing to happen. Development has been slow for the last 4 years. I'm expecting that hopefully it's going to break. Hopefully, if they can coordinate it. Thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. If they can coordinate it so it happens around the Creative Summit, that'd be fantastic. Now, in the past, in 2016, we saw 10.3 at the Creative Summit. In 2017, we saw 10.4. 1 year later, 10.4 was previewed at the Creative Summit. And then in 2018, we had 10.4.4, which was released at the Creative Summit. So there's 3 instances where we had major updates to Final Cut Pro at or around the Creative Summit. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but it seems like a good plan if they can work it out and schedule it, that Final Cut Pro 10.7 comes out around the Creative Summit. If it's ready, we might get a preview. They might say it's coming out in December. They did that with 10.4. They previewed it coming out in December. So that's fine. As mentioned in your group, I've been testing CapCut and find it's really good for being free. The captions are really good. One thing I noticed is they have a suggestion area to make the app better. Yes, Final Cut Pro has that as too. You can make right in the Final Cut Pro app. You can go up. I think it's the help menu, and you can say contact support, and you can make bug reports or make suggestions. Yeah, CapCut's pretty cool, and the free version is pretty cool. I have to admit. You have CapCut. I use Descript a lot. I use Final Cut Pro is the first thing I use. Secondarily, I use Blackmagic and LumaFusion. They're kind of tied depending on whether I'm doing mobile stuff. If I'm doing mobile stuff, I just use LumaFusion. That's my favorite NLE on the iPad for sure. Number one is I can use it on my older iPad. Final Cut for iPad, I can't. And I'm not in the market to buy a new iPad. I don't use it that much. But when I'm on at NAB, when I'm at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit, I do use it more and more there. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. And also, don't forget to subscribe over there at my YouTube channel, Richard Taylor TV. Click the notification bell. Don't forget about that either. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Now, one thing I want to mention to you, I'm not going to give specifics right now, is that I am going to be asking for your help as we get closer to the Creative Summit. I'm going to be asking for some help, and I'll announce that maybe October, September, October. But as we get new stuff happening, there's going to be, I would imagine in a day or two, they're going to be having the ability to book your sessions at the Creative Summit and stuff. It's not available yet. The website is available. The website is available. FCP Creative Summit, Cupertino, November 6th to the 8th. Dates, locations confirmed. November 6th to the 8th, Apple Park and the Hyatt Regency Santa Clara. Join the Final Cut Pro creative community. This is the biggest event for Final Cut Pro in the world once a year. There's nothing as big for Final Cut as this. NAB? No. IBC? No. None of these are Final Cut Pro specific. 100% Final Cut Pro and Motion, and this year, Final Cut for iPad. No other event is all 100% those three things. Nowhere in the world do they do this. I want to thank Future Media Conferences for putting this on again. I want to thank Apple. And I want to thank the Final Cut Pro team, especially for developing Final Cut Pro. Just get in there and get some more stuff done for us. That's all. We want to give you a little poke. We'd like to see 10.7, or if you're going to call it Final Cut Pro 11, whatever you're going to do, give us some new stuff, some new features. As good as Final Cut is, and it is good, we can use some more stuff. And it's not just a matter of being, oh, I want more stuff. It's a matter of industry standard things like dupe detection. We asked for dupe detection for years. We finally got it in year 12. It took 12 years to get dupe detection. It's finally there. I use it all the time on long form stuff, but also short form stuff. I can see immediately if you have a duplicate clips that you've used in the timeline. All right, everyone, I just wanted to come in and talk about this, let you know I have the exclusive announcement here for you. As we know more and more stuff, we will, hey, you want to keep track of this? Join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Final Cut. Let me see if I have a thing in here, but it's here anywhere. Well, here's one. Here's one that I have. Facebook groups, Final Cut. Oh, that's the iPad tips and tricks. Let me change that. Edit text. Okay. Oh, it's on a different screen. It popped to a different screen. Groups, Final Cut. Here, this is the group you want to go to. Facebook.com groups, Final Cut Radio TV. This is where we talk about these broadcasts. This is where the information was first announced when 10.6.8 came out, when 10.6.7 came out. This is where the first announcement about the Final Cut Creative Summit were made. This is where you want to go to keep track of the current stuff. This is where I post things first. This and on my Twitter account, which is just Richard Taylor TV. Oh, I got to turn that off. Wait a second. What are your expectations for the coffee at Juniper? Will it be so or maybe damn fine? We're not going to be at the Juniper. There's no Juniper this year. There's no Juniper this year. And the coffee at the Juniper, I don't. I get my own coffee. I bring my coffee to my room. There are coffee places, of course, all around, but we're not going to be at the Juniper this year. So we're going to be at the new hotel. Well, I think the new hotel. It's in Santa Clara. Hello from Philadelphia. Have a good one. Thanks. Ripple Training is great. Been using them for many years. Great value. Absolutely. I've been friends with Steve Martin. Thanks for the thumbs up, by the way. I've been friends with Steve Martin, and I see Mark Spencer at the Creative Summit, sometimes at NAB. As a matter of fact, before there was any, I started live streaming in 2016 at the Creative Summit, Facebook Live. And after I got used to the live streaming a little, I had Mark Spencer and Steve Martin on one of my live streams years before they did any live streaming. And it's amazing. This is a television station I have in my studio, at my place. I have two studios, one upstairs. This is the small streaming studio. And then I have a bigger one downstairs where my multi-track, that's where my recording, I used to record bands downstairs, so it's much bigger. I don't do that anymore, not as a recording, not as audio recording, multi-track, but I am going to move some stuff down there. Some of the things I'm going to be doing is going to be down there. I'll let you know more about that. But anyway, keep track of the Facebook group. This is the one to stay. Facebook.com groups, Final Cut Radio TV. That's where you can talk about these live streams. That's where I make my announcements first, is in this group right here. I also have Final Cut Pro tips and tricks. I have Final Cut for iPad tips and tricks. I have both of those, but this one, Final Cut Radio TV, is where I make announcements first. So if you want to be privy to the first part of the announcements, that's where you want to go. Now let me just do this. So that's where we'll be making the announcements. Any further announcements on the Creative Summit, we've already talked about it before. We'll talk about it one more time here before we sign off so you can see what's going on. It's really, really a very cool event. I'm so glad that they're back in person. I've been talking about this for 6 months, since February, January. I said, I'm hoping they do Creative Summit in person. That's why I did the documentary, to let people remember what it was like in person at the Creative Summit. November the 6th through the 8th, Monday is Apple Day. Monday, November 6th is Apple Day. Tuesday is sessions all day, and Wednesday is sessions all day. And like I said, I'm going to presume there's going to be events at least 2 or 3 of those nights, different expos and things. Locations and dates confirmed. November 6th through the 8th at Apple Park and the Hyatt Regency Santa Clara and Cupertino, because it says Cupertino there and it says Santa Clara. Twin Cities. We're going to be in Twin Cities this time, back and forth. Future media conferences will provide the shuttle buses. That's not going to be an issue. And you also get, for $299, complimentary certification exam voucher, which is $149 by itself, certification prep course recording, 2 full days of cutting-edge training, 1 day at Apple, access to networking and the other things that are happening there. $299 part is fantastic. Now, typically what happens, they haven't made the announcement yet, typically what happens is future media conferences will book a block of hotel rooms and it'll be at a discount rate that you'll be able to get in and get one of those discount rate rooms if you want to stay there. That's very likely where I'll be staying for sure. So further announcements, keep track of further announcements. Join the Facebook group, facebook.com groups, Final Cut Radio TV. That's where the announcements are going to be made first. This announcement was made there this morning first. I also announce on Twitter, Richard Taylor TV, et cetera, et cetera. If I don't see you before Saturday, we'll be back at Final Cut TV and Coffee on Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It is appreciated. It means a lot to me. You guys and gals are the best audience of anybody for Final Cut Pro. Right there. Give yourselves a round of applause. And also let's give a round of applause to the Final Cut Pro team. I'm excited, anticipating good things happening between now and November the 6th. Right? Thank you very much for the thumbs up. We know that the iPhone's coming out in mid-September. We know that, iPhone 15 Pro Max. I'll be getting one carte blanche. I'll just trade money in and get one. There might be an Apple event. There's talk about an M3 MacBook Pro coming out perhaps this year. Could be in November. Could be an Apple event in October. And I might get the M3. I skipped the M2. This one's doing fantastic, to be honest with you. This M1 Max MacBook Pro, 16 inches, fantastic. Zero complaints about it. It's doing a great job. If they have an Apple event in October, maybe there'll be some hardware announcements. They could do a Final Cut Pro update around that time. But I'm thinking, save it for the Creative Summit. The Creative Summit is Final Cut Pro specific, not Apple general, not, Apple hardware and stuff. The Final Cut Pro Creative Summit is the biggest Final Cut Pro event in the world. It's concentrated Final Cut Pro stuff. Although, like I said, Blackmagic was here last time and Sarah Monica was also there last time. Join the group, Final Cut, Facebook.com, groups Final Cut Radio TV. Join that group. That's where you'll find out first. I'm going to get out of here. I just want to be the first to make that announcement. Any more information about the Creative Summit that I have to present will be over in this group. All right, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Let me turn that off. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I appreciate it. My name is Richard Taylor, as you know. And I'll see you, if I don't see you before then, Saturday mornings, 10 o'clock, we're back here with Final Cut TV and Coffee. Unless there's something else coming on this week, I don't know. It is August. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.